Hi, and welcome to our next session of Venture and Capital. Today, I'm joined by Singapore founder and entrepreneur of 8i Holdings, Mr. Chee. Welcome, Ken.
Hi, thank you, Steve, for inviting me for this session.
Mate, really happy to be doing this with you. We've actually known each other for years, and people don't know that. But I remember the first time that I went to Singapore. I remember hearing about this 8i, this 8i company. I thought, I saw one of your team members on the registration list. And then I remember thinking, I had no idea that there was this, there's this ASX listed company that was running stock market education for Singaporeans that had actually done it very successfully and had built a strong business around it. So what I'd love to kick off with is just tell me your story as far as from a founder and entrepreneur perspective.
So basically, I started to learn this method called value investing in year 2000. And I was making very good, consistent return on it. Met my founder and good friend Clive Tan in 2006 in a mastermind group, and we built actually our knowledge base and with some friends. In 2008, when the Lehman Brothers crisis happened, a lot of our friends actually lost money, but we saw the great opportunity in the marketplace because a lot of great company was undervalued back then. We went in, scoop up those company, and it even boost up return even more after that. So a lot of our friends are very curious, how come we dare to make those investment decisions? So we start to share our knowledge with only one intention, is to support more people to actually invest well, okay, and safely with the right fundamental knowledge itself. And who knows, after one or two class, they refer more and more friends. And we say that, hey, look, we have to build a structure around it, because giving knowledge or empowering others to know something without a sustainable support ecosystem is very dangerous, right? So therefore, we started the company in 2008 with very small capital, and we just grew and grew. And now we have offices around in 4 countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, and actually Shanghai. So covering the Asia region. And we also have evolved into asset management business. We have a fund management license issued by the MAS in Singapore, catering to high net worth individual. And in 2018, we have launched our Fin EduTech, okay, where we have launched this tool called a V app that support our user and our customer to pick the right company smarter, faster, easier. And so now also to build a recurring basis, what we call investment intelligence as a service going forward. Yeah.
I love it. I love all the different acronyms that us as founders can come up with for our and obviously that's what we do, right? Like, and what I loved about, when I first met you, and let's talk about your journey for this year, right? Because this year has been obviously a bit of a transformational year for you. And, I think it's also great to have that story. You were similar to me. We were both running a lot of events. I remember when I met you, I was very impressed with how you'd built yourself a network, not only for sort of in ASEAN, but also in the Chinese market as well. So just give people some context as to the size of your business. Like how many staff do you employ? How many students will you serve this year?
Okay. For the group, the whole group itself is about, let me see. Wow, I have to think, because every month we actually have hiring right now because the business is growing. So the last reported to me for 8V group is, I believe it's about close to 70, right? So, wow. But we are increasing our headcount, especially on the technology front. So our technology team, we built out in end of 2017. And currently from one CTO, now we actually have about 17 programmers in the area of data analytics, machine learning, and of course the front end and back end developer itself. We are looking to increase this headcount to at least double it by the end of next year or mid next year, to continue to actually innovate our platform to serve more of a client. And so far this year, before COVID, 1 year we serve about maybe, I think, 4,000 so-called participants or graduate. Okay, but during COVID, this number have actually increased to, I think, at least 4 to 5 times.
Wow.
So now we are serving, just 6 months alone, we service about close to, I believe, 25,000. So it proved that with the transformation of the business and using technology, okay, we can reach more people, impact more lives, and actually create more. Yeah, with less resources.
Yeah. So let's break that down a little bit now. this is the part where I find fun. I'm fortunate. I've got a mentor of mine who's been fantastic at helping to sort of encourage me also in the technology. And I've done a similar thing to you, right? Where we've started actually adding more people to our technology team. He had this great analogy that he used, and I think you can relate to this. He said, and this was one of my best learnings over the last 2 years. He said he was looking at 2 different investment opportunities, and he really liked the sector. And the choice that he made was, he had the first company that he looked at. He said at the time they had approximately 60 business development staff, and they had 3 or 4 engineers, right? And then he looked at the second business, and they had 3 or 4 business development, and they had 30 engineers. And he made a significant investment in the latter. And I'm sure that's where your sort of thesis comes, because you realize that the role that technology can play in helping a business to scale is unbelievable. But more than that, what COVID did as far as helping accelerate those trends, it just made that more obvious. It made it so painfully obvious that all of it, that is their direction, and that if we want to serve more people, technology is the answer to that scaling process. And out of curiosity for you, how have you seen that transformation? Like, how's that impacted your share price over the last sort of 9 to 12 months?
I think the share price is a reflection of the company fundamental in terms of the result wise. So about top line, bottom line, operation cash flow, free cash flow. So over the 9 months period or 10 months period, our market cap actually have grown to about 1,012%. So in terms of share price, it's about 13 times return, right? And of course, our team members is very happy, and the shareholder is very happy, because a lot of our team members have a direct stake in the company shares, because me and actually Clive, we actually reward our team members, giving our own personal stake in the company to our team members, so that they have direct ownership. You know, whatever they do, they can see a direct impact into a company top and bottom line, and therefore they can create a brighter future for themselves and for the family. So that's why the morale is very high, the motivation is very, very strong. You know, our team is working their ass off, and despite they're working back home, and everybody is thinking of ways how to actually do ever more with ever less. Now, we have a motto here is, we don't want to do just incremental improvement. Everything we do right now, we ask the question, how can we actually produce a 10x different to the user experience, to the customer value? So if there's no 10x difference, don't do it. No, because with technology right now, okay, with different kind of technology, with data analytics, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, okay, there's a lot of things that we can actually harness and do as compared to the past we can't. So therefore, our mind imagination is the limit. Sky's the limit. I would say that the universe is the limit. So therefore, but we desperately need of good talent. So that's why we need to actually expand and our talent base, especially on the technology front itself. So
Understand.
Totally right. Yeah.
And when you're thinking about the expand, and I love that as a challenge for yourself, right? Is how do you improve that experience by because that actually psychologically then puts the pressure on the team to start thinking of ideas to come up with that answer, right? Because as all things in life, you ask the question, your brain goes searching for an answer, right? Really, whether that's a positive question or a negative question, right? So interesting for you, like, and you've made this transition over the last 3 years. You're seeing the benefit now in both revenue, in both share price. Are you also seeing that you've got a lot more younger investors also looking to get educated as well? Because I've personally noticed there's a big trend with sort of Gen Zs and millennials, where they've obviously, people had time at home, and then all of a sudden you see the stock market flooded with a whole bunch of new money.
I think yes, we definitely see an increase in the younger investor in, because there's 2 things, and also a more mature investor age group from the mid 40s. Now, that's interestingly why, because let's talk about the younger group first, right? They are more savvy, and they know how to search for information, but they want something quicker. You know, they want something that you say, look, you know, don't make me go through all the analysis. Do you have something that actually at a less than 3 click the button, I will know, okay, give me the information clear and fast, right? So that's this group.
Spot on.
But the mid 40s are the group that they discover their jobs are no longer secure. right? I mean, even in the government sectors, give example, in Singapore, we are very heavily depending on actually tourism and aviation industry. So a lot of crew members or a lot of pilot, even pilot, they have no
Yeah.
work, for 8-9 months. They have to take a pay cut, they have a freeze, and they start to realize that, look, I need to look for alternatives, right? So, and they realize that the interest rate are very low, they need to actually to make their saving work much harder for them. So they're looking for a safe way to actually to create wealth using their resources. So therefore, we're also seeing the big increment in this group of segment, of investor.
And so a couple of things I want to pinpoint on that is you mentioned about your app that your software that you're building, how it helps people come to a faster decision. I actually do a slide, right, where I actually put up an image of Blockbuster and I put up the image of Netflix.
Yeah.
No one actually, like if you think about Blockbuster, everyone had a good experience going to Blockbuster. It wasn't about the experience, right? It was, you just realize that markets at their core will move towards efficiency. Right. And people want that efficiency of an outcome, whether it be the idea to invest into or the answer to their question. And I think as founders, it's our job to keep on thinking about how do we use software to efficiently get our clients to the answer that they want.
You're totally right, Steve. I think with this disruption, this digital disruption itself during COVID, the most beautiful thing is this solution that can create more value, but yet at a much lower cost. So it's not about just an incremental saving, just a small saving, but we're talking about huge saving. I give example. The software and the solution we provide is equivalent to actually going to a private banker to give you some good advice on those companies, right?
True.
But yet now you don't need to actually be a high net worth individual. You can have actually those information data crunch into simple format and actually laser focus on those opportunities you're looking for. Okay, and because of that, we got a license from MAS again, using our VF, having a financial advisory license. Again, this have shown, even at one of the highest financial authority recognized, the FinEdutech or the financial technology that we created, is of that level, combining the professional knowledge with technology innovation, bringing the cost way down that mass and most people can actually afford to use it. And they now have the power at the mobile to make investment decisions, just like how the high net worth, engaging the private bankers to do it, right?
Incredible. And funny enough, your thesis for how you're operating in your space is actually also my thesis for my space, right? Like I want to provide software so that effectively our clients can have the same access to tools. How can I put it? The same services that an investment bank would provide, I want to be able to provide that on software, whether it be syndicates, capital raising, book building, all that sort of stuff that you would expect from an IB. Software has the ability to provide, right? So it's funny how we've got that alignment of that thesis. Now, my next question for you, and this is going to tap into the investors that are watching this. What is your observation of trends, right, that you think are going to be, I suppose, the leading trends over the next sort of 2 to 5 years?
I think there are 8 major trends. The first one is definitely artificial intelligence. I think that is irreversible. You can't deny it, right? So I give example, even we take a selfie, how the camera, the chip can actually adjust and actually beautify our face. That itself is artificial intelligence, right? So 5G data network. So as the 5G roll out globally, especially in the developed country itself, we can see the transmission of data even faster, and at a more efficient rate. And there's more data being collected, which is powerful. Another one will be robotic process automation, what we call the RPA, where you see the factory floor right now and it will automate up to, I believe, 45 to 50% of actually factory production right now. Now the fourth one is edge computing, where how company can make use of this kind of cutting edge technology to actually process and serve those the data even faster, especially videos, and actually crunching numbers, right? So the fifth one is of course very big, and we are seeing this recently in the US market and China market, will be the EV, or what we call the automated driving. Now I believe will come very soon in 5 years time, where we no longer need to drive our own car. Okay, all the
Oh,
kind of
what a
self-driving.
my absolute dream, Ken. Just so you know, like I have got like, especially living in Sydney, right? It's obviously better this year, but I get no enthusiasm for driving a car.
Okay, and want to understand more is blockchain, the blockchain
Yes.
technology. So, and of course, the byproduct of blockchain technology is cryptocurrency. So we're seeing a lot of actually corporate right now, company like PayPal start to accept
Yes.
Bitcoin as part of the service, right? As a payment, right? So it's recognized as a form of currency, also a store value, right? So, and this, I think I just named about 7 to 8. So all of these are major trend.
Ah,
Of course,
perfect.
the
Yeah.
the 8.1 will be, I will say, the next generation genome, right? Where the
Yes.
testing of genes, okay, and altering of genes to prevent certain so-called what we call precision medicine going forward. Okay, prevention is better than cure. So that is also a very big trend going forward. Yeah.
Interesting. And for you and obviously for me, love all those things that you're talking about. And there's stuff that, we obviously obviously what's beautiful about the role that I have with WI is we see a lot of these companies coming through WI 5 to 10 years before the market ever gets to see them. And that's what, I love that. And I'm curious for you as far as what's your plans for the next sort of 12, 24 months for your business, apart from accelerating growth, of course.
Okay. We have moved our business totally, I would say, close to 95% online,
Yeah.
right? And we have transformed the business from what we call a one-time basis of a program fee and event sponsorship fee, okay, or
Yeah.
ticket sales, to a more recurring model, right? And we now our plan here is to scale up to 3 target profile: the Chinese speaking, the English speaking, and the Bahasa speaking. So now, why these 3 main languages itself? Because if we look at Asia Pacific or Southeast Asia, this region itself, we'll notice that actually the Chinese, English, and the Bahasa speaking have the majority population in this region. Chinese speaking, of course, we have the China market.
Yes.
And actually the English speaking, the biggest one is actually India market itself, right? So, and
Interesting.
Bahasa, we are actually looking at what we call the Indonesia and Malaysia market. So just by actually having these 3 market, and because we have domain expertise in these 3 languages, coming where we come from in Singapore, Malaysia, so that gives us a unique competitive advantage in designing our system solution to cater to our customer. So we are very clear. We're not going globally everywhere first. We have specific target, okay, to actually aim at this target market first. Next, of course, we are developing what we call the quantum mentor AI fund. So because we have used artificial intelligence right now, we have removed the human emotion aspect of investing. So as long as the system tell us, okay, this is a good company based on certain parameter we set in, and the machine learn by a lot of data feeding in. We have actually tracked over 1 year, because we started a small fund, internal fund. I think we invested about $2 million, and it's generating amazing result. Okay, it's like we beat the market, right? Amazing result. And we're going to actually scale this up, because with the cash flow that generated from our recurring model, we're going to plow it in, okay, to compound this cash flow even further. But we're also thinking how we can actually use this knowledge, okay, that we have using this AI quantum mentor fund, okay, and reach out to more so-called retail investor out there in the market, but in a very safe and actually a sustainable way forward. Yeah.
It really sounds like everything you're doing is like, how do you systemize it? How do you scale it? And how do you make it repeatable? And it's really obviously a strong philosophy. And just a quick question, you mentioned about your 3 target areas. Are you looking to grow that organically? Are you also looking to make acquisitions as part of that growth? What's your thoughts on that?
I think in the early part, after we got so-called listed, right? So we did think about actually going, the fastest way is M&A, okay, merger acquisition. Now, however, the risk of a merger acquisition will be actually the culture fit. So we're very careful in our M&A, because going forward, unless there's a very strong technological fit, okay, or what we call a channel development opportunity, okay, for us to reach up to the target market, okay, with no conflicting business interests, then we will seriously consider itself. Okay. If not, I think most likely will be actually organic, because we're seeing that because we have plant and seed over the last at least for 10 years, right? The fruit is ripe right now for plucking.
Yes.
So even with internal resources right now and the team that we're building, we are confident that we can scale this up organically, because the market is huge. Okay, it's huge because the market international broker commission right now is $0. Okay, so there's less frictional cost. So all these big environment changes, right? It's pushing us. You know, it's like a tailwind. Just the wind is coming to actually to where we're riding this trend going forward, at least for next 5 years at least. Yeah.
And the benefit that you have, Ken, that that new founders wouldn't, is what the difference is like is to the difference between when the spotlight is on your sector and the difference when the spotlight is not on your sector. And when that spotlight is on, you have to run as hard as possible.
Precisely. You're totally right, Steve.
Well, Ken, I've absolutely loved catching up with you, and obviously fantastic to have you on. I said I've right from day one when I first met you, I said I've really admired how you've taken the education business, formalized it, listed it on the ASX, and now obviously scaling it the way you are. I said I've always admired that from an entrepreneur perspective. So thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate your team setting this up, and congratulations to you on your success.
I wish you all the best. Take care. Okay. Till the next time we meet physically. Okay. So please, I wish you good health and abundance to you and your team and family.
Thank you very much, Ken. Appreciate.